Hello, everyone. So, I'm getting ready for bed, and I was like, I'm gonna do a video real quick on Venus being in Virgo and the energies that we're working with right now with Venus being in Virgo, just moving in there today, July 9th, this year, 2018. And so, I have my notes and different things like that. So if you see me looking somewhere else, it's simply because I'm looking at my notes and I don't want to miss anything or forget to say anything, and stay focused and stay on task so I can go to bed. So I just washed my hair, so excuse the t-shirt wrap. So anyhow, Venus in itself being in Virgo, the energy that it's prompting us to do or to pursue or influencing us right now, just around the world, is that of taking practical steps to fulfilling our heart's desires. We took a lot of time in the beginning of this year, from January till now, finding out more of who we are, solidifying our identities, and essentially really knowing who we are so that we know what our heart truly desires. So that now, at this moment, we have all this energy to basically center ourselves, balance ourselves so that we can, you know, plan, be strategic, and plan practical steps to achieve what we're trying to achieve in this life. So, and dealing with Virgo, you're dealing with, um, of course, not just strategy. That's any earth sign is dealing with some type of strategy, but you're really thinking on a mental plane before you take action. Mars is retrograde. It will be retrograde for quite some time, not too long, but enough time in this transition of Venus for us to slow it down, to balance ourselves, and to think intelligently before we decide to make a move, so that our actions are so we've analyzed every possible outcome. We've thought about it, and we're critical enough to say, okay, I have got all the facts, I've attained all the knowledge that I can possibly attain on this issue, and I have decided that this is the best move for myself. And that's the energy of Venus being in Virgo and Mars being retrograde right now in Aquarius. Both Virgo and Aquarius are, intellectual signs. Air signs in general are intellectual signs, but Mercury, uh, excuse me, Virgo and Aquarius have this type of intellect that, you know, um, with Aquarius, it's more of, I just love to attain knowledge. I just love to learn. I just love to tell you about everything that I know because I know so much I must tell. Wherein as Virgo, it's more so of, I need to attain this knowledge so that I can shift through the facts so that I can get to the truth, because there's a difference between fact and truth. Both are knowledge, no matter what, you're attaining knowledge. But Virgo wants to get to the truth of the matter. And Jupiter just went direct in Scorpio. And Scorpio is great at basically getting to the truth of the matter, digging into things. And you combine that with Venus being in Virgo, the truth is really going to come out for a lot of people, especially in dealing in relationships, and especially in like the public sector, in our governments, um, like police, um, just a whole bunch, in our public sectors, in our relationships, and you know, just really, really. Relationships in public sector is where a lot of the truth is going to come out. And so if you're, for example, in a relationship and you've been noticing certain things, and then you're gaining more and more information, and then finally you get the conclusion, the truth of the matter. And it may be a spouse cheating on you, or a partner cheating on you, or it may be you being exposed for cheating on a spouse. It could be scandals within government, a huge scandal like similar to like when Bill Clinton had the whole Monica Lewinsky scandal, or it's not going to be on the same line as what went before when Jupiter first went into Scorpio. There was a lot of exposure of sexual misconduct, a lot of sexual assaults and rapes and different things like that, that were exposed and brought out to the light. There's still going to be some, that going on, especially while Jupiter is in Scorpio, is going to happen. But this type of exposure with Venus being in Virgo is more so on the line of personal relationships and how those personal relationships kind of spew over into the public, and that affairs that were done in the dark are going to come to the light and truth will be had. I'm just looking over my notes really quickly. It's also a very great time to show appreciation to the people, the working class, people who do things for us on a day-to-day basis and that we kind of take for granted. Like, for example, a nanny, a bus driver, the garbage man, the cashier at your local store. These people or positions in life, the working people, the laborer, the common folk. This is definitely something of Virgo, and especially with Venus being in Virgo. These people are going to have a lot of recognition, for the things that they do that we take for granted. Not all of us, of course, but majority of us, we do. We just go about our daily lives and we, do things in routine, and we don't take a moment to say, wow, thank you for doing what you do. So, this is a great time if you feel the urge or the need to express your gratitude to a particular person for what they do it. We all make sacrifices, and a lot of our sacrifices go unnoticed, and, and because of that, certain people feel deterred or discouraged, and you could be that light. You can be that light of love and simply saying, thank you. Really, with the love, there's a lot going on with the love, especially since we're building up to Venus going into Libra. So Virgo is kind of like okay, I need to analyze the situation, figure out what's working, what's not working, readjust certain things, and then if it still doesn't work, then I need to do away with it and do something that works, because we're thinking practical. If it doesn't work, why do you continue doing it? And Virgo is that. So in our relationships, whether it's romantic or whether it's a social, type of relationship with your friends, a group of friends, or what have you, it's one of those type of things where, we're really analyzing, we're really taking a critical eye of our relationships and seeing how much we benefit from them and how much we don't. And a lot of us are really taking a practical approach to love and really focusing in on, okay, how do we work well together? How does your job fit into my life, and how does my job fit into your life? It's also taking a more deeper look at, our gender roles and saying that, yeah, I usually do the housework, but thank you for noticing that it's a lot of work and actually helping me out. It's one of those things where we show that type of love and appreciation by actually doing the work. And we don't say anything, we just do it. That's very Virgoian. It's like, okay, I'm just going to do it because I want to be a service to you. I want to be a help to you. And so I'm going to do it. And then usually they don't get recognition for it. And some Virgos even start to devalue themselves and start to think that they're not that valuable. And so we're all going to be faced with that kind of energy floating around, those thoughts that float around that say, oh, I'm not worthy of this. I'm not worthy of love. I'm not worthy of this higher position. I'm not worthy of this gift. I'm not worthy in some type of way. And Venus in Virgo is really going to ask all of us to say, hold on, take a moment. You are worthy. You're devaluing yourself. Know your value, know your worth, and make sure that no one is going to treat you below what you're worthy of being treated like. And you're special, and you should be treated in a special way. And if your partner isn't supporting you in that type of way, then you may need to reevaluate whether or not you want to be in that relationship. Same thing with friends, same thing with family members. Um, yes. So many of us are setting our standards in love, especially if you're younger. You're starting to say, okay, well, this is what I'll accept, and this is what I don't like and what I will not accept. And being vocal about it and expressing it, especially with the Mercury being in Leo, it's really helping us to be able to express ourselves and express how we truly feel about a certain situation without coming across rude, but coming across in a way that is welcoming and calming and is lighthearted but serious. Like I'm serious when I say this, and you take it serious, but you don't take it to heart. So that Mercury in Leo is really giving us that power to be able to get this all settled before we start getting into the next water season, which is Scorpio, which is going to be a lot of energy going around. So we definitely want to make sure that we get things straight and that we have that plan set up on how we're going to go about doing it before we take action. Remember, Mars is in retrograde. Slow it down a bit. Make sure you have direct, a line direct. This is what I'm going to do, and this is why I'm going to do it. And I've already researched it and analyzed it, and I know. So, with that being said, we're setting our standards in love. Some of us older folks who've already set our standards, we've noticed that maybe we need to make some readjustments to our standards because they may be too high or unrealistic. And so it's really, remember, Virgo is the polar opposite of Pisces. Pisces deals with illusions. Pisces deals with kind of like going into the fantasy world and kind of like seeing what we want to see. And yes, Neptune, the ruler of Pisces, is in Pisces right now, but it's retrograde. And so that gives us a better sight to be able to see and detect with that Virgoan eye. Like, yeah, I enjoy this. I find pleasure in this. Venus shows me that, but the Virgo shows me that this isn't practical in my life. That one moment of pleasure actually doesn't help me in the long run. And also that, I might have unrealistic standards for my partner, for my mate, for this job, for this particular class, whatever it is. Sometimes we have to readjust our standards in a certain issue. And with Venus, we're dealing with matters of the heart and not just love, or romantic or erotic love, but it can also be the agape love where you're talking about matters in the heart with your parents, matter in the heart with your children if you have children, matters of the heart within your choice of career. Whatever the case may be, is finding a good, healthy, solid standard and sticking by it. Also, if you're planning a romantic getaway, this would be a great time to plan. Go to, but mainly just plan, dealing with that, especially since you'll be able to catch some really good deals. And I'm only saying that because of where Venus is, the sun being in Cancer, Venus being in Virgo, and then you have Jupiter now direct in Scorpio. Those things happening, as well as Saturn being retrograde in Capricorn, actually it's going to be some great deals. So if you want to get away, you want to have plan a romantic getaway for some time later in the year, or if you want to catch some really good deals, right now is the time to do it. And you'll be able to catch like budget friendly things and that are just really feasible. And think of a distance away from yourself. So if you're in California, we're known to go down to Mexico or to Canada or to Hawaii or to the Caribbean. That's our like go-to spots. So if you're like a West Coast girl like me, don't go there. Go somewhere else. Go to Paris. Go to South Africa, go to Greece, go to India, go to Zimbabwe, go somewhere far and enjoy that. Indonesia, somewhere. If you're in Europe, Western Europe, don't go to Paris, don't go to Germany, go to West Indies, go to South, well, y'all probably always go to South Africa and Africa places, but come to the West Indies, Brazil, places like that, Montreal, those types of places. Try to get use these deals wisely. Use this time wisely to make a trip of a lifetime. That's all I gotta say. There's more, but I don't want to make this too long. It's already about 15 minutes, so I'll just save my the rest of my notes for another video where I can be more like, this is what I want to talk about, because there's a lot of stuff that's going to be popping off in our politics, especially here in the US as well as abroad. But as far as politics goes, it's popping, and as far as relationships goes, oh my goodness, it's really going to be one of those type of things where I like to think of it as the genie who will grant your gifts, who will grant you all your wishes, but at a price. That's Jupiter and Scorpio direct, and Venus and Virgo straight up. I'll grant you all your wishes, but it's gonna cost you. It's gonna cost you. So are you ready or not? Are you working to say, you know what, I already know this is gonna cost me in the end. I might not know exactly how much it's gonna cost me, and I'm not just talking about material or money wise. It could be something completely have nothing to do with material. But I'm making the steps now so that it does not affect me in a negative way in the end, where I'm actually preparing for any possibilities. So yes, I just want to make sure, like, I'm just at least hitting on, I mean, yeah, I'll do another video because there's so much. I have so many notes. So I'll leave it at that. I'll check you guys in another video. And so you won't have to see me in my... I can go get ready for bed. All right, y'all. Till the next time, keep trailblazing on. Good night.